Hello, guys. Welcome in. We are the Pitch Invaders. Got another fresh episode for you guys today. I have Amir and Max here. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi,
I am
Christian.
good.
Doing well.
Doing well?
Yes.
Amir, are you doing well?
I am. I
Are
got
you?
Haaland in fantasy.
Max,
so
I want to say, I have a question for you just off the bat. Do you think he was ducking me yesterday?
For what?
Because he didn't come to church yesterday, and I don't know, for those of you listening, him and I are playing each other in fantasy this week. First week of the season, everybody wants to start off with a win.
I mean,
Gives
he
you
has
momentum,
Haaland.
You know? Who cares who he has on his team? He's ducking me, man. Yesterday at church, we said we're going to meet up at church. I didn't see this guy at church. We watched all the games on Saturday.
He was watching the
My
game
team
on
was
Sunday.
my team was beating him on Saturday. He's like, well, I still have Holland on my team. And then Sunday, I expect to see this guy. I don't see him at church. What's going on, Amir?
I was
What's up?
watching Haaland score that goal.
That's what I'm 100% sure.
So you were just staying at home. You know what? He's my last hope.
I was just waiting on that goal, honestly.
Okay, all right, fine.
At the end of the
You know.
day, I'm guaranteed the most consistent fantasy player
Yeah.
of all the players.
Let's talk
Okay.
about.
But did you win though? But did you win?
It doesn't matter.
We have to
It doesn't-
bring it up.
it doesn't
we have to
matter.
bring it up. I got the first pick in draft.
Okay.
And everybody can guess who I picked. I picked Salah. And I
Yeah,
stand
you let
by
your
it the
heart
whole
ma-
season.
You let your heart make your
I
decisions.
chose Salah
for you.
over Holland, and I stand by it. A goal and assist against Ipswich, I understand, but
Against Ipswich,
it was a
yeah.
goal and assist.
Yeah.
He proved, I think, 14 points.
Yes.
So, I won, Liverpool won, and I stand by not picking Holland.
He's so aerodynamic without the hair.
I still stand by Salah is going to be a top scorer.
Top scorer, like Golden Boot.
No, that's gonna
He's
be-
gonna win Golden Boot, Max?
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
a hot-
maybe
that's
that's like a hot take.
That's a hot take.
You should have mentioned that in your
Comes up
whole
with a new
thing.
hot take every podcast. Like every episode, there's a
Yeah.
new hot take for Max.
Yeah.
Let's see, let's see.
Okay, well, I mean, we had the draft. Max got the first pick. Usually at the 101, Holland is the automatic choice. He's been by far the best fantasy player. Last year, he wasn't the highest scoring player, but he missed a bunch of games. Like if you look on a per game basis, nobody even touched Holland. So we all thought you'd take him, but you let your heart dictate your decisions over your brain. And Amir had the second pick, and he got Holland, and I had to deal with playing Holland.
I want to celebrate my players. I can't celebrate Holland. If he scores, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I got points. But when Salah scored, I was there ripping my shirt.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to keep tabs on that and make sure that
Yeah.
that decision actually,
I guess that's the same for me for being a City fan. There's no better pick than Holland.
I know. See, everybody's happy.
Okay.
Are you happy, Christian?
I'm not going to lie to you. When Bukayo Saka scored that goal,
Yeah.
I did have a little cheer inside of me.
Come on.
I felt I was betraying my club,
Dude,
but it was just so,
it was beautiful.
it was just so
Power. I
beautiful.
mean, we're gonna get into it.
Yes.
But oof.
Yeah.
Arsenal. I'm like a Liverpool fan, but I was so entertained.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're going to start with recapping this past week. Are you guys good with that? Let's start with Manchester United versus Fulham. Now, this game was the first game of the season. All the jitters are there, right? Is there anything you guys could see from that game that stood out to you that you would... I have my take, and my take is not going to be very inventive. I feel like it's the same Manchester United team as last year. They stink for 85 minutes and then get a kufta goal at the end. For the listeners, kufta, you're going to hear that as a major theme throughout the season. Kufta means something that, it's kufta. It didn't really,
I
didn't really earn it. It's kind of like given to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Similar to skewers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What about you guys? What do you guys take from this game? What did you notice? Anything stood out to you?
I watched the whole game 3:00. I was there. I had a lot of takeaways. The biggest takeaway, first of all, Bruno Fernandes was so wasteful. Like I was watching the game as a
You're
Liverpool
saying that
fan.
with chest, yeah. Okay.
And like, oh my gosh, man! Like passes going off. He wastes a couple one-on-ones. It was just he was wasteful in front of goal. Same thing with like Fulham.
Fulham, no end product.
They wasted chances.
No end product.
And
I expected
Pereira was
better.
wasting chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expected Fulham to play better.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially with the new signings, Smith Rowe and like all of the other players, but they did not perform like up to the expectations. Honestly, I thought they would. I thought they would like play a lot better.
Yeah.
But I cannot blame Bruno for missing those chances. I mean, he's not a natural striker.
I know.
That's true.
So him being in a striker position, he doesn't have that.
He's
sense.
the star player. I mean, it was frustrating for me to see, knowing what I saw 2 seasons ago, what he could do, and 16 or whatever goals he got. He was their top scorer 2 seasons ago. So it was frustrating for me to watch. And Pereira on Fulham was wasting so many chances.
The only thing I would push back on the Bruno thing, with the quality that team has and the amount of money they've spent, should he really need to compensate for their lack of goal scoring?
No, but
He should be just providing service to these guys.
I agree.
And he should not have to be doing. The man has to carry too much load on that team. And I'm not. Listen, the dude complains to refs all the time. He's very whiny. He's not a player that I go on a limb to defend. But I do feel like he shouldn't be having to carry so much of the burden on this team with the quality they have.
And I think he actually is a ball carrier. Like he takes that ball in transition and plays it to the attack. That's what he does best. Like those long balls. Those through balls to the strikers, and like him being in a scoring position, like we don't see that often. I mean, he takes shots from the outside and everything, but like he's not like on a one-on-one. Like that's not his
it's out of his
position.
kind of.
So he probably got caught off guard.
No, I agree. There was, some good takeaways. Mazraoui looked very good.
Best player.
Yeah,
to me, him and Maguire were the two best players on the team.
Maguire was good.
Which is ironic because Maguire, if their team is healthy, would probably be their third choice.
Yeah.
They got Lenny Yoro, and they've got
De Ligt.
Lisandro, Martinez, De Ligt. We're not talking about a guy that would regularly start anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was one of the reason one of the goals didn't go in.
That 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So who do you guys think should start in the back four for Man U, like for the rest of the season?
I know Lisandro Martinez is going to start. That's just
He's a staple.
Ten Hag loves him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very easy for him to bench Maguire, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to leave De Ligt on the bench. There's no way.
Yeah.
So I think Maguire's going to have to fight for his place.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, but I think, unfortunately, he's going to get put on the bench.
I really think Maguire should start.
Me too.
I could see Mazraoui as a right back, Maguire and De Ligt and Lisandro as like a left back or like a third center back if you let Mazraoui take that right wing in attack.
I thought about, Dallo on the right, Lisandro Martinez and Maguire as center backs, and then Mazraoui as a left back.
And De Ligt on the bench.
Yeah. Because De Ligt those are his first Premier League minutes. I mean, if he beats out Maguire for the job, as the season goes on, if Maguire makes mistakes, then make that change. But Maguire's got all the experience in the Premier League. De Ligt just got here.
But this is
he didn't earn anything.
Ten Hag was managing him before. Like, they have a connection. He knows that player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very easy for him to rely on him.
You guys realize that many of these players were in the Ajax team that were playing against Madrid.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So maybe you think there'll be a bit of favoritism there.
I think so.
I do.
Gotcha.
I do.
So.
Okay, one more question before we go to the next game. Xerxes. What do you guys think? Do you think he starts? Because he came on and he was very impressive. He scored the goal.
He didn't impress me I mean, maybe this is a hot take. He scored the goal. It was a good goal. But other than that, I didn't really see him as overly impressive. But, he probably does need to start until Højlund is healthy. But if I have a healthy Højlund and Xerxes, I'm probably leaning towards Højlund.
Yeah, I think I don't think we should put pressure on the guy.
Correct.
That's what we did with Højlund, and look where he's at right now.
Yeah,
let him perform at his pace. He's very young. He's new, so
yeah. All right, next game: Liverpool versus Ipswich. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one.
It was an easy. What was it? 2-0 win. We leave with 3 points. That's what matters. Yeah.
I do have a lot of stuff to talk about this Liverpool game.
Give it to me.
I think we're going to spend a lot of time. Give it to me. I mean, the first half, Ipswich, hats off.
Yeah.
That was great.
They were
performance.
impressive.
They defended their butts
off.
And they created chances.
Yeah, for the entire 45 minutes, they were pressing Liverpool, high pressure, man-to-man, like literally Liverpool had. They couldn't take any chances almost. And actually, Ipswich was very close to score those goals. But I think the second half, this is kind of like the welcome to the Premier League, where like one of the top 6 teams are very flexible in terms of tactics, and Liverpool, you see that switch in tactics where we see Trent maybe coming a little bit to the middle, freeing up some space with pressure, and Ipswich cannot adapt to that switch of tactics, and that's what brought Liverpool the win. They couldn't keep up with that pace.
I felt like they were, once we got to the second half, I noticed in the first half they were playing a very high line. That back line was playing very high, and I just feel like Liverpool have the quality and the speed and their wingers to take advantage of that. And Arne Slot went into halftime and said, "Hey man, these guys are playing a super high line. Just play that ball through, let Salah run, let him run, and we'll be able to beat them back there." And I just saw several times in the second half just them playing a very simple kind of straight pass and letting Salah or Diaz or whomever catch up to it and create some danger. And I just felt like, why are they playing this very high line? Just sit back a little bit, try to defend, and leave the place with a point if you can. But they stuck to their guns. I respect it.
For me, the biggest takeaway watching the game is Liverpool players, there was a really good hunger. Like I saw the hunger and the drive, but there was, at least I got a sense that there was a lack of creativity. There wasn't as many chances created. Like the 2 goals that we got, they were kind of, Jota kind of like, that was a good goal. And then the Salah goal was kind of, a lucky goal. And it's just, there wasn't many chances created. We kind of lacked some creativity. And I know we got the win, but I don't know how, it may just be early season, kind of shaking off the rust.
Seems like you're diagnosing the potential flaws of the team, that maybe they can be hidden against an opponent like Ipswich, but once you play a more difficult opponent with more quality, maybe some of these flaws that you're trying to diagnose will show themselves more.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Right?
Yeah, and I think we all predicted that Indo will start.
And he didn't.
And he didn't, actually.
Which is surprising.
Gavin Bird
Very much.
was the one that started.
Yes.
Which honestly I totally forgot that he can actually play in that position.
He didn't even bring Nunez or Elliott on either, which was surprising. Not even for subs.
It looked like by the second half they didn't really have much to have to do.
Some surprises.
So.
And Kwanzaa starting, and I heard
subbed at halftime though, right?
Yeah, I heard he got subbed off because it was a tactical decision because he was losing the battles to Dilap. So it was affecting the rest of the team because it was
because of the pressure.
So once they brought in Konate, that opened up more space and attack, and Liverpool was able to grab the goals. So very tactical substitute. So
one quick thing I noticed in the second half tactically with Liverpool, that Robertson almost had no attacking instructions anymore. Like he would just stay back. Like Liverpool would almost play as a back 3, where Konate, Virgil, and Robertson are staying back, and Trent was more of a second CDM.
Inverting.
This is where you start to see like those long balls behind the back, because if Trent is playing on the right back position, most likely you're probably going to play that long ball on the wing, and then the opponent team is going to recover pretty easily. But once you put Trent in the middle and make those balls behind, through the defense, this is where the first goal came, passing it to Salah, and most of that, the attacking from Liverpool in the second half happened from that area, where Trent is kind of.
He's our threat. He's our key threat.
Nice. Anything else, guys?
No.
All right. Next match we have Arsenal versus Wolves.
Man, this looks, just off the bat, this team looks like a team that's going to win the league. I watched this game and I was just so impressed.
Really?
I want to tell you. Arsenal was so impressive.
Amir, isn't this the beauty? Amir, I'm sorry to interrupt. This right here is the beauty of soccer or football, in my opinion, is that 3 guys can watch one game and 3 guys can have 3 completely different opinions about what they watch.
They found
I have Arsenal winning the league, but that game did not give me
so many ways to get goals.
Any reason
so
to be like, wow, they're going to run away with it this year.
No, man, they looked confident. They found every different. Every goal was a different goal.
Did Saliba look confident to you?
I'm talking about attack. I didn't look at it, but
he was a bit rusty.
Every goal was a different kind of goal, and the partnership between Kai and Saka looked very nice. I saw a bunch of chances created. They looked so threatening on the wings. It was just overall so dynamic. And they had players off the bench to come on. I mean,
I can partially see what you mean, because to me, it felt to me that there was a good number of players on Arsenal that looked quite rusty to me. Maybe they're a little bit tired. Saliba's been playing a lot in Euros and whatnot, so some guys looked pretty rusty, but they won out because of the quality that they have on the team. They have guys that can, when maybe your team is kind of a bit sluggish, kind of a bit rusty to start off the season, they can pull off a moment, like Saka did, and just and just put their team ahead.
Beautiful goal, by the way.
Yeah, beautiful
wow.
goal.
Yeah, that was great. But
Yeah.
I think Martinelli looks lost for some
Again,
reason.
Again, I
sure
wrote that in
why.
the notes. I said he's lacking that finishing. He's lacking that creativity, and honestly, I think he needs to get dropped again. I'm
In favor of who?
I'm sure he's going to get 3 more games at least to start. But I
In
mean,
favor of who?
you
Trossard,
can put
maybe?
Trossard, and I mean, if you really
Trossard
want, you
thrives
can
off
put
the bench.
Yeah.
Jesus on that side. But Jesus is not going to start as a striker.
But what's surprising is that when Trossard came on, he actually came on for Saka.
Yes.
Martinelli stayed
yes.
on.
Really?
Yeah.
He's trying
Which
to get
that
the
needs-
confidence. I guess he's not trying to destroy his confidence.
That's what it looked like to me. Is they, Arteta was just keeping Martinelli out there to see if he could get something done.
Yeah,
to
something going.
Boost his
Yeah.
confidence. Saka was dictated the game with his assist and his goal.
Yeah.
And again, I really believe that if there's anything that stops Arsenal from winning the league this year, it is them not having a proper replacement for Saka. It's not them. A
If
lot
he
of
gets
Arsenal.
injured?
A lot of Arsenal fans are talking about getting a striker. They're pissed at Tottenham for being able to get Solanke and whatnot. But I really think as we get later on into the year and all the mileage starts to accumulate on Saka's legs, it's
Yeah.
good. They need to be able to sub him out whenever they need to, but they don't have a pure right wing replacement for him.
That's
you
a
know?
good. That's a good
So,
point. That's a good
To
point.
me, if I were them, that would be what I would look at before the window closes instead of center forward.
No, good point.
I still think they need a striker though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Havertz wasn't brought in as that man, but he is gonna be that man. He's a 20 goal plus player.
He probably will be.
Yeah.
I agree.
He played really
stays
good,
healthy.
and I think his link with Saka is really good. But I still think they need a striker. Maybe Sel Jesus.
Looks like they're going to get Marino, the Spanish guy. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
good.
they're
That's
gonna get him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good cover for
Yes.
Thomas
Kai.
Partey
Yeah.
or even Declan Rice.
Mm.
We're talking about Miguel Marino, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's
I think
like
he plays more up front, I thought.
I think he's more of a CM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. They tend to get players that have a lot of versatility anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say one quick thing also. The number 9 Larson for Wolves looked pretty good. I mean, he had a pretty good chance. Raya had a beautiful save, and Raya looked again amazing in goal.
Yeah.
And like I said, up front, Havertz looked amazing. So I think that's gonna keep Jesus out of the lineup.
Odegaard looked fresh, huh?
Odegaard looked great.
Fresh legs.
Yeah, I mean,
No Euros for Norway, so.
the key words I had for Arsenal, just to summarize: hunger, confidence, and the word was swagger. I felt like they had that whole play, the whole entire game.
Wow. Oh,
So
swagger.
swagger, yeah.
More complimentary towards Arsenal than your own club, man.
Hey, no,
Okay.
I'm happy if anybody wins other than City. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm afraid
Fair enough.
That's
Fair
not
enough.
gonna happen.
All right. This is the one where when I looked at it, I said we could be pretty quick with this one. Brighton versus Everton,
Yeah.
4-0 domination.
Great prediction, by the way,
Oh,
Christian.
thanks.
Remember,
Thank you, Max.
Everton's gonna win.
You know.
Yeah, they got whooped partially
Well-
because of Young's red card, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That Ashley Young's got
You would
He's
think
gotta- he's
an
gotta
experienced player is just gonna let the goal go, but no, he decides to pull him back and get the red card.
he's got a
He's an experienced player. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
he's
You
had a-
should know.
He's had a great career, but I think it's
Time to hang it up.
Yeah.
He's done that throughout his whole entire career. He makes bad decisions frequently. But Brighton though, Brighton looked beautiful.
yes,
It's
they
good to
look
see
really
them
good.
that they're performing, even with the manager change.
That
Like,
new
we didn't-
winger
we
they
didn't-
have
I don't
on the
think
right
we didn't
side.
expect
Menta?
that, right?
Minta's really
He got injured, but
really-
he had
looked
a
really
really
good.
good cross for
Yeah.
that goal.
Danny Welbeck looked really good
Danny
too.
Welbeck
Yeah.
is drinking from the fountain of youth.
I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, he is. He's unbelievable.
And him and Pedro Porro are in the lineup together,
Yeah.
which I really like to see. Like Pedro
João
Porro right
Pedro?
behind him.
João
Yeah,
Pedro?
João Pedro
Yeah,
started right behind him, and it looked really good. I mean, they have so much speed up front.
yeah.
Yeah.
Matoma and Menta was on the wing, and then
waiting for
Adingra came
Matoma.
on.
Adingra's a
I
good
know you
player.
I mean,
I know you were waiting for it.
with what?
I was waiting for you to mention Matoma because I have him in fantasy. And
Yeah.
No, but it looked like same old Brighton. Honestly, De Zerbi didn't. I think you guys know how I felt about De Zerbi. I never really felt that he was
The key man.
the key man that's making Brighton. I mean, the key thing that's making Brighton good is that they're great at finding talent, and then they're great at selling that talent for hundreds of millions of dollars, and it allows them to go get more good talent. And I don't think they're going to go anywhere. It was a very bad game for Everton. They just don't seem to. My question for Everton is, where are they going to get enough goals. Like, where's the goals going to come from?
Calvert-Lewin cannot be the solution,
he
and
can't.
I don't know why there's. And Harrison is great. Jack Harrison is great, but he's not. He's gonna get you a few goals. Like they don't have a replacement.
Yeah.
And I still stand by it. They're gonna get relegated, unfortunately.
Dang.
I don't think this is. I didn't see any bright sparks from the game. Even before the red card, I still think they're gonna really struggle. I really do. Defensive and attack.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, it's just I'm not going to go that far. First game, I'm sure they'll improve. They did last year.
I hope so. Sean Dice is a for manager. I mean,
tough to watch. Tough to watch.
Yeah.
I think with teams like Everton, they really rely on set pieces, anyway, for goals.
They have the height for it.
Yeah, but this game, it looks like Brighton did really good overall, with position, passing, transitions, and everything. So.
All right, guys, we're going to take a little bit of break, but after that, we'll come back and analyze the rest of the games. So stay tuned.
Woo!
All right, we're back. Next game we would like to discuss is Newcastle versus Southampton. Newcastle was super resilient, going down to 10 men and pulling out a 1-0 victory in this match. Anything here that you guys wanted to comment on?
I was just surprised with the lineup. Joe Wellington. I don't know. I thought I was going to see some different faces than I did.
Who were you expecting?
I don't know. Barnes. Who was on the? Yeah, I mean,
they didn't make any big.
I guess not really.
Did they?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They just have a lot of injuries in their back line.
Yeah, I think
so you saw some weird starts in that back line just because they got a lot of injuries and.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Glad to see Nick Pope is back.
Yeah.
After his injury
he was great.
He looked sharp.
He looked sharp.
He looked really good.
Did you ever think you would see a Southampton match where they had 78% possession? Did you ever think you'd see that?
Definitely not.
I mean, I don't know if it was the 10 players, but they looked good. I mean,
Yeah.
like Armstrong had some really good chances. Brennington Diaz was so frustrating.
Yeah, he was able to bait Fabian Schär.
Isn't Southampton the second team for Man City, like a reserve club?
No.
Like where all the Man City academy players.
McAtee was there on loan last year.
Yeah. All of the academy players, like Romeo Lavia was a Southampton, and there's another City player. That,
is there really?
that plays there now. So it makes sense now.
Makes sense. But Barrington Diaz being able to bait Fabian Schär into a red card.
Yeah.
Schär should know better. He's been around a bit. Like, he should know better than to not get baited into.
He's from Chile. You never mess with the South American players. They will act.
They have all.
They have Emmy.
They're really good
awards.
really good at getting under your skin.
He flew like a dolphin. Woof, and an instant red card.
Why didn't Trippier start?
Trippier's still injured, I believe.
Oh, he's injured.
Yeah, he picked up an injury in the Euro.
Okay.
I think he's still coming back from that. Livermento got the start. I thought he looked good. Started him in fantasy.
I had Hall.
So,
Hall looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think Southampton, there's some positives they can take. I think they looked really good up front. I thought Armstrong was pretty positive in front of goal. Like, he didn't grab a goal, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
You're a lot more optimistic than I am, because I looked at that as Southampton not able to get any points in that match when they had a one-man advantage.
That's true.
And not only did they not tie, they lost that match.
Yeah.
That's a tough way to start the season, man. Like, you would. That's a great opportunity to get some points against a pretty good club that's going to be in the top half of the league, and they squandered it, in my opinion. So, let's see if they shake it off.
Yeah.
Amir, you got anything else on this one?
No, I think we covered it all.
Nice. All right. Next match we got is Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. This one we can be quick on, right? But I mean,
Yeah. There's not
kind of a.
Well, I mean, I will say Chris would look great in front of goal, and Elanga and Hudson-Odoi also look good.
Sure.
But I really liked Wood. I mean, Wood's goal was great.
He's a great classical striker. Just get in the box and just
get the goal.
Put goals away.
I mean, he's keeping Awoni out of the starting lineup. If he keeps performing like that, there's no reason for him to be subbed out.
Agreed.
So
which sucks for me.
Yeah, right.
Because of fantasy,
Semenyo looked good for Bournemouth.
Sure.
I will say.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Trying to figure out who's going to replace Solanke and get those goals.
And that was a question I had. I do not know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that he's the player that they need, that they can rely on to keep them up? Because he's their source of goals.
Sure.
He was the only player that was creating 90% of the chances. So Do you guys think he's really that player that can step up?
I mean, as Bournemouth, what do you really want from the season? Like,
I mean,
probably
stay
just
up.
Stay up. So
After selling your best player, you just want to stay
You
up.
think he can be
exactly.
that guy?
I don't. See
I don't
why
think he'll.
not.
I don't think he'll replace Solanke. I don't think he's got the quality of Solanke, but I do think he'll fill in a role, and I think they'll be good enough to stay up,
Really?
just barely.
Okay.
I
mean, that's a hot take.
To me, I could see them 16th or 17th, barely staying up.
They
Yeah.
kept their base of the team
Sure.
anyway, so
Taverniers, good
as long as
player,
they keep
Yeah.
that performance, I mean, they will,
All right.
they will
Yeah.
definitely
Early
manage.
relegation battle. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, West Ham United and Aston Villa. This was the one I was really, really, really excited to watch.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see all these new signings that West Ham got, and sure enough, they didn't start any of them.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see Amado Onana
Yes.
on the field and score that goal.
I
in
told
the
you he's
fourth
a
Yeah.
good player. You
Good
guys
player.
you guys talk crap about him when I
I
said
didn't
that.
talk
last
crap
year.
about him.
I said he's a
great.
good player.
He's a great
And you guys were.
player.
I was saying
Sorry,
Everton.
sorry.
How are they going to replace him? Like, yeah, whatever. He's anything.
He's a very
Remember?
solid player.
He's a solid player.
He's
but
a good player.
I had Aston Villa not finishing top four again this year just because of Champions League, and I don't think he makes that difference.
You want to hear a hot take?
What's that?
He's better than Douglas Luiz.
Oh.
Wow, very hot take.
I agree.
Wow.
I don't agree. I'm just.
I-
I mean,
I mean,
He's really
defensively,
good.
for sure, defensively, but
I think in addition to the Aston Villa team, great addition actually.
good as it. Yes.
Destroyer, fast, intelligent player.
we need to talk about Rodgers. I mean, I watched the game. Rodgers looked like $1 million. Like I would throw 50 million on him. He looked amazing behind Watkins. Honestly, he was the player of the game. Watkins wasn't impressive at all. I think
Duran getting a goal in that limited
Duran
time.
looked
Yeah.
amazing too. But I mean, Rodgers was very unlucky not to get a goal. I think he's going to be a spark on that team.
Bailey too looked really good. He
Yeah.
made those-
Crossbar.
Yeah, hitting the crossbar with the open goal. But he created a lot of chances.
Yeah.
He was like a key player for that team.
This is a good team, man. I mean,
They got a good test next week. They got Arsenal next. I mean, we'll get to that, but
yeah.
this game, first game of the season, I'm not going to start wavering on them regressing this year until I see what they do against Arsenal.
Yeah.
That'll be the test.
It's going to be very hard.
Yeah.
But we haven't said anything about West Ham, by the way.
Lucas Paqueta looked really good.
Yes.
I was so surprised that towards
He
the end
should
of the
look good,
game,
yeah.
like when Duran scored that second goal,
Yes.
they switched up like the front three completely with Fulkrug.
Oh, yeah?
And
They have Somerville?
Somerville and James Ward-Prowse, which
Nice.
actually gives like that West Ham team is also stacked. They have a lot
They
of
do.
options.
Yes.
Once
They
they
do
get
have a lot
once
of
they get the
options.
puzzle pieces together,
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
they'll
one
be
to
all
sock
guns.
And
too.
with
One to
Lopetegui
soccer
as the coach,
Yes.
I mean we know his quality. I think
Yeah.
he's a really good coach. He's going to be able to get something out of these players.
You guys saw my league predictions. I have them finishing sixth.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I want to say one last thing. I don't know why Antonio started, and I don't know why he's still in the starting lineup. I really have no idea.
Who are you playing ahead of him?
Fulkrug, I
easy.
think.
Really? I mean,
I think we'll start to see
start seeing
Fulkrug.
that?
Yeah.
I mean,
don't you
Antonio's
think Antonio's earned the right to have some cachet? He's the
Not at all.
all-time leading goal scorer for West Ham United. Put some respect on that man's
What was
name.
his numbers last season? Let's just see.
I don't need to talk about his numbers
7
last season.
goals and 2
Yeah.
assists.
I
What
don't
is
need to talk
that?
about his numbers last season. All-time
got
league.
6
He
goals.
is a West Ham legend.
He got
a
6.
legend.
He got 6 goals in 26 games last season.
So you think-
That's
You
relegation.
think this legend, the baton is going to get passed this season? Is
He's
that what you're
34,
saying?
man. Put him on the bench.
Believe it or not, most of
34?
the
Yeah.
Wow.
most of the attack players or the attacking players happened after Antonio subbed off. Like
you
even
go.
like he
hinders
didn't-
them, man.
Yeah,
He
he didn't
hinders them.
have a lot of chances. Like most of the
respect.
chances were happening from Kudus, of course. But
Kudus.
once Fulkrug,
What a player.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's great.
What a
he's,
player.
He's
Sharp,
really good.
energetic. Oof.
He can play on the right,
Yes.
left. He can play everywhere.
I saw a thing where Tottenham had the option to either get Brennan Johnson or Kudus and they went
That would
with
have been
What a
insane.
horrible
Can you
idea.
I'm sorry.
That is
Oh
horrible.
my goodness.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Yeah, so Kudus is looking like a superstar, man.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Brentford, Crystal Palace.
Team Mbeumo.
Brian Mbeumo.
Brian Mbeumo.
Tony who?
No Tony,
Tony
no problem.
who?
No Tony, no
Yoann
problem.
Lisa said Tony
So-
who?
Where's Tony going?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Tony,
man.
Tony, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Really?
No,
Yes.
he will.
I get the impression that he would have been somewhere by now, but I think some people don't want to take in the locker room headache that he brings.
I can understand that.
You know, so I got a feeling he's going to stay there. Maybe until January. Maybe January comes around, but if it's January, they're going to have to take a big discount on him.
I don't know, man. They want to get him off the wage book. I think they're going to try to get rid of him. They banished him from I mean, he wasn't even on the bench, right? So I mean, there's a reason. I think they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think it's best if they sell him now and try to cash him out.
Yeah,
they missed their window.
They would get big bucks for him.
They missed their window, huh? Because even last year when he was coming back from the suspension, there were a lot of teams still in on him, willing to spend big bucks on him.
I mean,
now it looks like I read somewhere where someone can get Tony from Brentford for I think 30 or 40 million pounds.
Really?
And that's a good deal.
Value
honestly.
is, of course,
If Arsenal can get him as a sub striker, or Chelsea can get him as a sub striker too.
Like, what do you guys think? Did you guys see the ref decision in this match? Eze hits from 35 yards out. It's probably one of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best goals from
I saw it.
free kick spot that we're going to see this season.
And then the center mid fouled on their team.
The ref said that there was a foul.
Oh my gosh.
With the guys
Hughes.
locking
It was
arms.
Hughes or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a beautiful goal.
Beautiful goal.
Hit the inside of the post and into the goal. Beautiful from like miles away. Man.
On the right side too.
Yeah.
That's usually an area that a left-footed player would be the only one that could get it to that spot. He was able to curve it around the wall and get it in there, but they called a foul on
was horrible.
Crystal Palace's defender and said no goal. Even though the defender wasn't really involved in in anything.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
first controversial decision I saw. Well, beyond Arsenal and the whole choking incident from Kai Havertz, but it was just interesting first week for even the guys. Even the refs can be rusty. Okay, it's not just players. It's not just William Saliba that can be rusty week one. The refs can be rusty.
No, they can.
Too, right?
They can. But I mean, just the positives. And Mbumo and Wiesa looked really good up front.
Yes.
And Shade, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Shade, the German.
Yes.
They look really good up front. I don't think they're going to have a problem scoring. I think they're going to look great. And Crystal Palace,
Hakuna Matata.
I'm worried about their scoring, man.
Hakuna Matata.
I don't know how they're going to.
I mean, he was playing the Euros.
The man looked exhausted very quickly out there.
Give
him a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 27, but man, he's been busy this summer. You know. Hakuna Matata. We'll be all right.
I don't know how they're going to do with scoring. I hope they get goals. Crystal Palace is threatening. Eze was creating a lot of chances, but let's see how they do. I hope they have the goals in that team.
Yep. All right, big game here. This is the big game of the week. Man City versus Chelsea. Amir, I would like to see what you have to say about this match. Because I believe our friend here, Max, was going on last week about he's calling upset. He's calling upset. Chelsea are going to pull out the win.
I guess the wrong lineup. There was 30 other players on their lineup that I thought was going to start. So I blame it on that.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Right?
So they have 30 players. They started at 11, but there's another 11 that you thought they were supposed to start.
The reason.
And if they started that other 11, then they would have beaten the 4th time in a row champions Manchester City.
Madueke would have scored a hat trick.
Madueke Madueke's just posing for the camera all the time. I don't think he would have scored.
They would have won 3-2.
Okay, all right.
But
Amir, what do you got?
I think that was a great performance game from Man City. They got what they wanted from that game with the least amount of effort, basically. The weight they bring on the field.
Yes.
It was so fascinating to watch.
Yes.
Like, these guys are just amazing. Like, every time we predict, okay, Liverpool's going to win, Arsenal's going to win the league. But the first game I watched Man City, I'm like, we're winning again.
Oh, my God. How did our wingers look, man? Our wingers were unbelievable. Savio and Doku.
Yeah,
unbelievable wingers.
Savio, he gave me some taste of Riyad Mahrez on that right wing.
Oh, man.
It was a pleasure to see.
It was. So in the beginning of the match, I saw Doku was on the right, Savio was on the left. And from what I could tell, there was a very quick switch about 15 to 20 minutes into the match. It looked like Doku was struggling against Cucurella. Cucurella, had he's looked very good since the Euros.
Okay.
They switched Doku to the left, and Doku put Gusto in a blender for the rest of the match.
Oh, my gosh.
And before he got injured, Savio was putting Cucurella in a blender. It was like all Pep had to do is just do this, and we were off to the races after that.
Here's a funny story. Actually, Pep didn't make that move.
Really?
So it was them?
Pep, after the game, he was like, 15 minutes in, I saw Duco and Savio making that switch, and I didn't even tell him to make that move. So I guess I
Wow.
have to learn to put the players in the right position.
That's crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
That's crazy.
So
What about the trust in his players to make that decision?
and
huh?
I mean that's
Wow.
the tactical intelligence we talk about when we talk about the Premier League and those top 6 teams. Like
Yes.
we saw with Ipswich, Liverpool make one tactical change and Ipswich were out of the game. And those Man City players are so tactically nourished by Pep that they can make these things in game. We oftentimes see De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva exchanging positions. We see Akanji stepping in as a center midfielder. Rico Lewis, he had an amazing game. Amazing
Lewis, yes.
game.
Yes.
Honestly, like with that kind of performance that he had and stepping in and playing like he was more like in an attacking position, like most of the times, like not. Savio was taking that right wing, and Rico Lewis was just going in the middle as a
Supporting him.
an additional like center mid.
Yep.
And he had a great game defensively and opening those lines. And I think honestly, Man City had a great game against Chelsea. Chelsea had no chance.
I have 2 questions.
Hit me.
Foden.
Hit us.
Foden wasn't in the lineup, which was very surprising.
Shocking.
And also
Player of the
Kyle
year.
Walker ahead of Rico Lewis ahead of Kyle Walker.
Rico Lewis is more ready than Kyle Walker.
So you think Kyle Walker's a bench player?
You
Or, I
mean
mean,
rest of
are they
season?
just going to keep rotating? Is Pep that's kind of
I think you want to give Kyle again. You know, Euros. Kyle Walker played throughout the Euros.
Okay.
I think you want to give. You don't want him to just go out right in the beginning. But it is nice to see Rico Lewis being able to fill that role very well. And the
Okay.
versatility of Rico Lewis is unbelievable. We could play him in the defensive midfield role
Yeah.
as a right back. His versatility is. He's more versatile than Kyle Walker. You know, he gives Pep more options. But
Yeah.
do I think Rico Lewis is going to feature in the starting 11 most of the year over him? No, I don't.
Okay. What about Foden? Because that was a surprise. I really thought this man he's a non-benchable player.
But
I thought so, too.
I don't think he didn't play any of the preseason games with the team. He just joined, so
Oh, is that
probably,
why?
he's probably
Okay.
not fit.
Maybe
Yes.
that's
And
it.
I don't think when he started or like when he replaced Savio, he came on the left wing,
Yep.
which I think that was just a tactical decision by Pep just to give Foden like some rest. Like he
Sure.
needed a player over there, but not really give him a lot of responsibility. Just put him in there.
Yeah.
I
go
have
ahead.
one thing to talk about Chelsea actually because the lineup was surprising, but the roles of the 3 midfielders at the beginning of the game, we had Lavia start, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez.
Caicedo got away with yellow cards throughout the
Oh,
match.
that
That
happens
guy
all
was
the time.
taking some really
That happens.
harsh challenges throughout the match.
Yeah, he's very reckless.
That happens all the time, but Enzo Fernandez, which we're used to him being more defensive,
Yeah,
he
was
was
he
a
attacked?
he was a playmaker. Like he was the one taking like every time Chelsea has the ball, they look for Enzo Fernandez. And Enzo Fernandez played those long balls to the attackers or the runners behind City defense, which I thought Palmer would be the one doing that most of the time. But we saw that in attack, Lavia and Caicedo will probably stay back most of the time. Enzo will support the attack by those long balls, and then Palmer will come to the inside, and Gusto will switch, become that right wing, which it put a lot of pressure on City defense, but which actually they looked really solid. But I think that was a nice something nice to see from the Chelsea team that they actually have that versatility to actually make these switches.
The manager's
in-game.
trying to implement some kind of different
so
system.
I think I would expect good stuff from Chelsea overall. I mean, they're playing Man City as a first game. I don't think that will be a disappointment
No,
to
I
take a
agree.
loss, but I think they will perform really good.
Good stuff.
All right.
All right. Last game we have for the week, Spurs versus Leicester. Game that ended today. I watched this game very intently because I had 2 players in fantasy. That first half, I want to say Spurs were cooking, man. They were cooking Leicester. They had so many opportunities. They could have killed this game in the first half 3-0 very easily. Son was taking his man on and making him look silly. Madison was all over the field just picking passes. He gave Solanke so many wonderful opportunities. Solanke just couldn't get the goal. Solanke, I am seeing, is going to be heavily depended on to score a lot of goals.
Yeah. He was impressive though.
Very impressive. I mean, even though he didn't get the goal, he looked got his he gives them an option in the box now, a consistent option in the box.
He's in the right spot.
He's in the right
He's
spot.
a target man.
Sure, for sure. So even though they went with the tie, I still think Tottenham is going to look good this year. But from what I saw, if they can carry on that first half into the second half, then we could see really good things for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And for Leicester, they rode the home crowd really, really well. They picked up momentum. Jamie Vardy getting a goal.
Party.
Yeah.
It's a
Vardy is
Vardy
back.
party.
Getting a goal.
Dude.
In the Premier League just
It's so nice to
That
see.
made me so
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
It's so nice to
Like
see.
I felt like I
But
went
why
back
is
5
that?
years ago.
Exactly.
Like-
We were watching something happen today that felt nostalgic to us.
Yeah.
And I think that happens.
It was
That's
amazing.
a rare thing to happen.
it is.
So
Felt
that was
like
good to
it's
see.
2016 back again.
Yes,
He
exactly.
looked great. I mean,
Exactly.
he could have got 2 goals.
Yes.
I mean, he got in the right spot. That one-on-one could have been 2-1. But again,
Too much
it's
Red Bull before
it's
the game.
yeah.
That's why.
it's the same problem. Spurs wasteful with their chances.
Yes.
And then I feel like this happens every season. They go into a game, they waste chances, and then the tide shifts to the other team and they take advantage.
Yes.
Like again, Spurs have a problem controlling the whole game.
I'll tell you what.
Once
they
the
need.
tide shifts, their confidence goes
Yes.
down.
I'll tell you what they need. This team needs a
Leader.
really good quality defensive midfielder that can possess the ball, keep them having the ball. I hate to say it, but if they could get, he's not really super defensive, but if they could get a player similar to Ilkay Gundogan, someone that can sense the momentum in the game and just take the ball and say, no, everybody calm down, let's keep the ball,
Yeah,
play it around
Basuma.
a little bit.
Basuma's a
They have,
Basuma's a baller.
Papisar.
He's not that.
Too.
They're not that.
Lo Celso? No.
Those are good defensive players, but they're not players that I can see take the temperature of the game and be like, you know
Yeah.
what, we can see the momentum is shifting. I'm going to kill the game by holding onto the ball, playing it over here, playing it over here, playing it over here, and killing their momentum. They don't have a guy that can do that. But otherwise, you guys have got anything else from this game?
No, I was just surprised that Kulusevski got benched for Johnson.
As was I.
So I don't expect that to happen often, but that was just surprising for me. But Pedro Porro, nice goal.
Wonderful goal.
Again, I got him in fantasy, so A+ for that. And yeah,
He's a liability on defense, though. I mean, pushing the team forward, he's amazing, but he's kind of like a Trent Alexander light.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Diet Trent Alexander.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
they're willing to kind of
Yeah.
shift to a three, kind of defensive back and let him, roam free because
Sure.
he's their main.
As long as Udogi doesn't just get a yellow card every game, because he is.
Yeah,
That's
minus
like a
one.
tradition for him. Every game, yellow card. Amir, you got anything?
I think later in the season, we'll start to see Lo Celso try to take that position where the Ilkay Gundogan role, he will play that role for Spurs, and I think it's going to help with the ball carrying a lot. Because, like you said, I think they're missing that person that creates or controls the rhythm of the game. Because oftentimes they're just in transition between attack and defense. They're not really showing a lot of control. Most of the times, which it costs them a lot. For sure.
Yeah. All right. Those are the games for game week 1. We're going to take a little break, then we'll be right back to preview the upcoming week. Be right back. All right, welcome back, guys. We're ready to get into predictions. But before we get into predictions for game week 2, I wanted to mention that throughout this season, Amir and Max and I decided that we want to keep tabs on our predictions. We want to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
That's really what we want to do, okay?
Bragging rights.
So we're going to make predictions on the games and what we think the score will be. And, if someone gets the score exactly right, they'll get 3 points. If someone gets the result right, they pick the right winner, or if a tie, they'll get 1 point. If they get none of it right, then they'll get 0 points. So after game week 1, we see here that Max is leading with 13 points. We have Amir with 8 points.
Close.
And Christian with a
Relegation
4 points. Solid 4 points. It's just game week 1. I have 37 weeks to catch up. So we'll keep tabs on that, and that'll be for bragging rights, or maybe we'll figure out something at the end. But yeah, so just want to keep. We'll update you guys every week on where we're at with the points. Let's go ahead and predict game week 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
guys.
let's do it.
All right, Saturday, August 24th at 7:30 in the morning. The early game. Kind of my favorite game is the early game, to be honest. Brighton versus Man U.
Oh, man.
What do you guys think? Amir, hit me.
2-1 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton.
I think
Wow.
what we have seen from the Brighton team during game week 1, it gives me a vibe that they're probably ready. Like they're more ready than Man U for some
Okay.
reason.
Yes.
Yeah, those big teams are like Man U, like with the new signings and everything. It's gonna take them time to adjust
Yes.
and actually pick up the rhythm. I think Brighton are just like gonna fly through those few first games.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna
Max?
go with 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah, I feel like both teams threat. I think Manchester United will do the typical thing and get some late goals.
Sure.
But I think I think both of them will be kind of leaky in goal. And yeah, I'm gonna go with that. A little
Okay.
bit crazy, but 2-2 is what I'm gonna go with.
As we were talking about it, I just don't see enough teeth on that Man U side to get to 2 goals. I was thinking 2-2, but I just don't. I think they're a little bit too toothless right now to get to 2 goals. So I'm going to go with Amir's
No pun
prediction of
intended.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-2.
All right, 10 a.m. Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Amir, what do you have for me?
I think 1-1, and we're gonna see Fulkrug score his first goal for West Ham.
Nice.
That has no fantasy bias at all. Max,
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Okay.
I think Eze finally gets his goal. That was much deserved from this week, and Fulkrug also gets some goals, and hopefully Bowen's on the score sheet. So
Okay. For this one, I'm going to go 0-1 West Ham. I don't see it being a super entertaining game. Crystal Palace tend to muck up the games and make them a bit gross.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a gross 0-1 or 1-0 victory for West Ham. All right, Fulham versus Leicester. What do we have for this one, guys? What do you guys think?
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Fulham.
They were toothless against Man U.
I'm gonna say Fulham 1-0.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Smith Rowe or Munoz, either one. But yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Amir, what do you got?
It's hard to predict. I feel like this is going to be like a 0-0 game, but I'm going to also predict 1-0 for Fulham, hoping Smith Rowe would get that goal.
I'm going to go 1-1. I think Leicester have enough quality, and they're going to be riding the confidence of tying Tottenham.
Yeah, I can see it.
I don't think they falter that much. Man City versus Ipswich. Max, I'll let you go first. I'll let you go first on this one. Liam Delap against his old club will want revenge.
I want to say they're going to score, but I'm just going to say 4-0 Man City.
4-0 Man City, okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. Amir?
5-0 Man City.
5-0 Man
Erling
City.
Haaland with his first hat-trick of the season.
No.
Wow.
That's
that has no fantasy bias either, does it? You know?
Oh man.
Hate to be contrarian, but I'm just gonna go a nice 3-0 Man City. I don't think this year we're gonna try to punish people too much. I think we're just gonna try to win and get out of there
Have
and
mercy.
have a little bit of mercy.
If Ipswich think they can apply that same pressure they applied on Liverpool with Man City,
Please play a high line.
They will be
Oh,
punished.
please play a high line against
hard.
Doku in Holland.
Doku,
Please.
Savio,
Yes.
De Bruyne with the passes. Oh my god.
It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Cannot wait for it.
All right, Southampton versus Nottingham. Battle. This to me, I want to watch this because this to me could actually impact what happens at the end of the season. This is a big game for the end of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, Amir, what do you have for this one?
For this game, it's no different than Nottingham versus Bournemouth. 1-1.
1-1.
It's
Okay.
gonna be the same exact game.
Gosh, okay. Max.
You know what? I was gonna say 1-0, but I think 1-1 sounds more
1-1.
realistic. So.
Okay. For me, I gotta try to catch up on the points, boys. So I gotta go a little contrarian here. I'm gonna go 0-1 Nottingham.
That's what I was thinking. But
No, you can't do it.
It's close. It's close.
I'm just kidding. If you
Chris
wanna,
Wood. No.
Okay.
1-1.
Okay. All right. Tottenham versus Everton. Do we think Everton bounce back?
No.
We don't.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
No.
no.
All right. So
I'm
what are we
gonna-
thinking?
I'm gonna say 2-0. They're gonna keep a clean sheet.
2-0 to Tottenham. Okay.
Yes.
I think I had the same prediction too. And so
Okay.
we might see Solanke on the score sheet.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Tottenham just because Tottenham are allergic to clean sheets.
Hey, your Everton predictions have been, I mean, it's only been one game week, but are you sure that they're gonna get a goal?
Yes, I think they'll get a goal here. I think
All right,
they'll
2-1 and a red card.
All right, 12:30. We got Aston Villa versus Arsenal. This
Game
is a
of
big
the
game
week.
of the week.
Game of the
This
week.
is a big test for Aston Villa. Amir, what do you got?
That's a hard one, man.
2-1 Aston Villa.
No, you're crazy.
Wow,
You're crazy.
wow.
I think Arsenal is not ready yet.
Okay, Max. I like that.
3-2.
3-2 who?
Arsenal, sorry.
3-2 Arsenal.
I'm going to just go with, it's either 2-1, but I'm going to go 3-2.
I can't see Arsenal allowing 2 goals. That defense is unbelievable. I'm going to say 3-1 Arsenal. I could see them leaking 1 goal. I can't see them leaking more than that.
Yeah.
So
I see them leaking points.
We'll
Not just one
see.
goal.
We'll see. All right, Sunday, August 25th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
We got Bournemouth versus Newcastle. What do you guys got?
I go Newcastle 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Amir.
I think Newcastle 1-0.
1-0. Okay. For myself, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with Max and go 2-0 here.
2-0. Yeah.
I think they could have scored more goals against Southampton if it wasn't for the red card.
Yeah, exactly.
The probability of them having another player get a red card is quite low.
Yeah.
But you never know. So I'm going to say they get a couple goals there.
Isak will be on the score sheet.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got Wolves versus Chelsea. Max, what do you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go Chelsea first win. I don't think it's gonna be.
You said that last week.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go not a convincing. I'm gonna go 1-0.
Oh, he's humbled himself, Amir. You see that? All right, Amir, what you got?
I think it's 2-1 for Chelsea.
2-1 for Chelsea. Okay.
We might see Pedro Neto scoring against his old club.
Oh,
that would be nice.
Fire.
That would be nice. I need to try to catch up in points, but 2-1 Chelsea just seems inevitable. So
come on, Christian, you just copied me at this point.
Maybe I need to make the prediction first. All right, in the last game of the week, we've got Liverpool versus Brentford. This is going to be dubbed as the Carvalho game. Revenge.
Carvalho's
against his old club that just tossed him aside.
Oh man.
Okay, Max, I'll let you make the prediction first, Mr. Liverpool.
You know what? This is going to be a really hard game with Mbumo, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick with 2-1.
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Yes, I think it's going to be hard.
Amir, I know you got something controversial for me. Hit me.
It's a tie.
A tie? Okay. What do you think?
Maybe 1-1.
1-1?
Actually, let's do it 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I need to catch up in points, so I'm not going to go with a tie, even though I'd like for it to be a tie. I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool.
All right.
All right. Those are the predictions for the week. Before we close out this podcast, I want to ask you some quick fire questions, guys.
Let's do it.
Ready for these?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just curious to know, now that game week is done, we finally have games to actually analyze. This is the meaningful games to analyze is what we've been waiting for. So after game week 1, I'd like to know who is your most disappointing team and disappointing player for this week?
Nice.
Max, disappointing team.
Disappointing team, Tottenham.
Yes, Tottenham.
I really had a lot of hype, so I thought that they were going to come out with 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Wasteful again,
Yep.
tide shift, and they didn't do what I expected.
Gotcha.
So.
Amir, disappointing team.
I think for me, it's West Ham.
West
With
Ham.
the amount of signings that they had, and I thought they would come to the game more prepared, but
Sure.
they seemed like they were just making a lot of changes in the middle of the game. So maybe like later in the season, they will perform better.
Gotcha. Okay. For me, it was Everton. I didn't think they'd start off the season that slow. I thought that finally there's some stability was coming to this club, and they just kind of looked lost in that first game. So Everton was very disappointing to me. Max, give me your most disappointing player.
Andreas Pereira. He's
Mm.
supposed to be the playmaker for Fulham, and I saw passes getting wasted, one-on-ones. He has 2 players with him. Just a through ball, all he needs. Wasted the shots. So he's my most disappointing player.
Gotcha. Okay. Amir, disappointing player?
I think for me, it's Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah.
I expect from him. I mean, for him to be more proactive on goal
Yes.
and perform better, but he seems a bit distracted.
Yes.
So
He's in a rut for sure.
yeah,
Definitely in a rut. For me, it's Fabian Schär. Schär, you're a good player. You've been in the Premier League for a while.
As if he's listening.
You're an experienced player. No, I know he's listening. You're an experienced player. You're a very good player. You have, you know better than to get baited like that to a red card that almost cost your team. I mean, thankfully it didn't. For them, it didn't cost them. But to me, I thought that was a very disappointing moment from a veteran in the Premier League.
Yeah.
All right. So give me your most impressive team of the week, Max.
Brighton. I
Brighton.
really, They were just shaky last season, not fully convinced. But they started off all guns running, and players looked amazing. The team looked sharp. That's a top. It looks like a top 8 team right now. So it's very nice.
Amir?
I think for me, Leicester City looked really good against Tottenham, and it makes me think they might stay up. They will not get relegated, which is exciting.
Nice. Okay. For me, it's Manchester City, man. I have to say, after 4 straight title runs, after all the trophies this team hoisted, I was concerned about going into the first game of the season against a team that, by the way, we tied twice last year. Couldn't get a win over that team last year. I was very concerned with how we would look to start the season, and we just looked like we could have won that match with one eye closed. So I was very impressed with how we started the season. Historically, we're not a team that starts off really hot, but then we turn it on in December. But I love the way we started the season this year. We look like the best team in the Premier League. Like we should. Give me your most impressive player.
Bukayo Saka.
Yes.
Bukayo Saka.
Star
Looks
boy.
like the star man. He was amazing, obviously. He's always been amazing.
Yes.
But this season, he really looks like he took it to another level. I mean, he already looked world class, but now this looks like a man that's going to lead his team to the title. And I think it was amazing.
Wonderful. Amir, most impressive player.
For me, it's not a player that plays in the Premier League right now, but he's coming back. Ilkay Gundogan.
Let's go!
Back to Manchester City. I mean, it's rumors still, but I think this is exciting news for every Man City fan. It's going to be great things to see.
Bad news for us.
Does he get the captain badge right away, or? No?
I mean, from Kevin, I don't think these guys care.
I don't think so.
I don't think
it'd be nice to have him back.
He shouldn't have left.
Yeah, I agree. All right, for me, most impressive player. I know there's some recency bias because it was the last game of the week. Abdul Fatawu, the right winger for Leicester City.
Good job on the pronunciation.
Thank you. Appreciate it, my guy. It was so impressive to see. That man's got 3 lungs. I mean, watching that guy try to pull the team forward and then come all the way back and defend Son in the final third, that man has got to be so exhausted. He also got the assist on the goal. The goal itself, I didn't think it was, it wasn't a super impressive goal, but the assist was a perfectly placed cross. I was just impressive with how progressive he was in the attack and how he tracked back and defended so well as a winger.
Yeah.
I would love to see the heat map on that guy at the end of the game. So I was really, really impressed with that player. So that's it, guys. We're done.
Yeah.
That concludes episode 3 of the Pitch Invaders football podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share this with all your friends and have a great day. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.